Yeah, hi, Letha. This is Michael from the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL iBT. So you got your results back and you got a 88 out of 120. So you had reading, you got 19 out of 30. Listening, you had 20 out of 30. Speaking, you had 24 out of 30. And writing, you had 25 out of 30. So in terms of your notes, you say, in my case, no point in the total score. I got passing marks in the listening and writing. I need 21 for the reading, 17 for the listening, 26 for speaking, and 24 for writing. So because of your advice and practicing with you, I could score the required marks in writing, but I was more confident in the independent speaking, but there I scored less. Reading is always my weak part. I will get tense by seeing the time, and I will take time to get concentrated in reading. I usually feel good in answering vocabulary in reading. Speaking, I know is quite difficult to score 26, but I know practice makes perfect. Read my detailed report and give me suggestions. I need your help until I pass it. In my favorite center, June 17th, and July 8th. I can take the test date. I'm waiting for your advice to take the test date. Okay, so let's take a look at the actual score report section by section and see what it says. And I'll try to give you some advice there. Reading, you got 15 out of 21. So it says readers who get the intermediate level, they understand academic texts that require a wide range of reading abilities, although their understanding of certain points of the text is limited. Test takers who receive a score at the intermediate level typically have a good command of common academic vocabulary but still have difficulty with high-level vocabulary. Have a very good understanding of grammatical structure, can understand and connect information, make appropriate inferences, and synthesize information in a range of texts, but have more difficulty when the vocabulary is high level and the text is conceptually dense. Can respond to the exposit, can organize or recognize the expository organization of a text and the role that specific information serves with larger text, but has some difficulty when these are not explicitly or easy to infer from the text, and can abstract major ideas from a text, but have more difficulty doing it when the text is conceptually dense. Okay, what that means is you're having trouble understanding the higher level vocabulary in the reading passages. And you're also having trouble when the reading passages are more complex in nature. It means they're more difficult to understand, the higher level type things. That's kind of what that means. Listening skills. It says, test takers who are intermediate, they can understand conversations and lectures in English that present a wide range of listening demands. So you scored between 14 and 21 here. It says, these demands include difficult vocabulary, uncommon terms, colloquial or figurative language, complex grammatical structures, and or abstract or complex ideas. However, lectures and conversations that require the listener to make sense of unexpected or seemingly contradictory information may present some difficulty. So it says, when you listen to lectures that have information that disagrees with some other part of the lecture, that's where you have more difficulty. It says, you can understand explicitly stated main ideas and important details, especially if they're reinforced, but you have difficulty understanding ideas which must be inferred or important details that are not reinforced. So the detail information or the implied detail information you're having trouble with. Says, you might want to write these things down too, so you can see exactly what your weaknesses are. So with reading, the more complicated the reading passage is, the more difficult it is for you to understand it. It's hard for you to infer meaning or to get unimportant details in listening passages. Also, it says you can recognize how pieces of information are connected. For example, cause-effect relationship. You can understand, but not consistently, ways that speakers use language for purposes other than to give information. For example, to emphasize a point, express agreement or disagreement, or convey intentions indirectly. This is called pragmatics. You're having some difficulty with your pragmatic listening. You know, in the TOEFL, sometimes it'll let you hear part of the conversation again, Letha, and then it'll say, well, why does the speaker say this? And then it repeats that. That's what you have trouble with, it's saying, according to your score report. It says that you can synthesize information from adjacent parts of a lecture or conversation and make correct inferences on the basis of that information, but you may have difficulty synthesizing information from separate parts of a lecture or conversation. It means putting together different parts of the lecture into a whole. When they're asking you how to organize or how the lecture is organized, you're having some difficulty with that. That's a difficult question for you. Speaking skills. Damn, I hate to say it. Sorry, my swearing there. Speaking about campus situations, 3.5 out of 4. There is nothing to be worried about there. Speaking about academic course content, 3.5 out of 4. Very, very good. Unbelievably, I'm just as surprised as you are. You got 2.5 out of 3 speaking about familiar topics, the independent speaking tasks. I've thought for sure you would do better about those. It says that your responses indicate you are able to speak in English about your personal experiences and opinions in a mostly clear and coherent manner. You don't want them to say that. It means that sometimes you're having pronunciation problems with your speech when you're doing the personal experience things. But to me, I mean, why didn't you have those problems in the other ones? If you have a pronunciation problem, typically you'll have it in all the speaking tasks, not just the first two. And it says a mostly clear and coherent manner, which means that you're organized, but it means that you could be more organized in terms of your topic statement, using your transition words, connecting the different parts of the speech together. You could do better, according to the score report, in terms of organizing and making your pronunciation clear in speaking tasks 1 and 2. But it also says grammar and vocabulary are somewhat limited and include some errors. So we're actually seeing this problem. We saw it in the reading, and it said you're having trouble with high-level vocabulary words. We're also seeing the same thing in the speaking about the independent tasks. It's saying that your grammar and your vocabulary are somewhat limited and include errors. It says at times the limitations prevent you from elaborating fully on your ideas, but they don't interfere with your overall communication. So what it means to me is when you're working with me or whoever you're working with, you need to make improvements on the independent speaking tasks with your grammar, with your vocabulary, with your pronunciation, and with your organization. That's what I'm getting from this. You see what I'm saying? So, writing based on reading and listening, you scored in the 4.0 to the 5.0. You did very well in those areas. Let's see any weaknesses here. It says you responded on the reading and listening one, the integrated writing task. You responded well. Weaknesses, if you have any, may have to do with slight imprecision of your summary of some of the main points and or use of English that is occasionally ungrammatical or unclear. So probably it's the second one. You have some ungrammatical ideas, and we saw that in your writing when you're working with me. You do have some minor ungrammatical type problems in your writing, but they don't really interfere in your meaning. In the writing based on knowledge and experience, you were good. 4.0 to 5.0, it says, you responded with a well-developed and well-organized essay. Weaknesses, if you have any, it says English that is occasionally ungrammatical, unclear, or unidiomatic. Interesting. Unidiomatic means you're not using expressions which are natural sounding to a native speaker. You're definitely communicating, and you're communicating clearly, but not naturally. Sometimes you're not using natural English. It also says elaboration and our ideas or connection of ideas could have been stronger. So they're saying that in some cases, in some of your body paragraphs, you could add a little bit more detail and development in there. And also you can sometimes better connect ideas. Think about the key junctures, Letha, in your paper. You want to make sure that your body paragraphs connect together well with good, strong, clear topic sentences. And the topic sentences connect back to your thesis, which is kind of in your intro, right? So it looks like from the score report, you have work to do. You have more work to do, I think, in your reading and your listening areas. And you can make improvements in your speaking specifically as it relates to the first two independent speaking tasks. You can definitely make some improvements in there. But you know what? You worked hard. You did really well, and I'm as mad as you are. I see that 24 out of 30, and I see how you did so well on the integrated speaking task. It's like, wow, 3.5 to 4, and damn, you got your butt kicked. You got killed on those first two independent speaking tasks, and that, unfortunately, is exactly the reason you did not get 26 out of 30. What you can do if you get frustrated, get one of these dials that you can punch, and you can hit it a few times, right? Now, if you work with me, if you resubscribe to my service, watch this video a few times, and specifically in the writing assignments or the speaking assignments that you do, give me specific instructions. Say, Michael, remind me, because I'm going to forget everything that I said in this video, right? I'm going to forget, 10 minutes after this is over. But make sure, remind me what I need to focus on. Tell me specifically, according to your score report and according to my analysis today, and I need to look for these specific things in your speaking task. For example, I need to make sure your pronunciation is good, your grammar is good, your vocabulary is good. I need to focus on these things, right? And in your reading, this is something you have to do more on your own, but you need to concentrate better, and probably you need to work on taking some practice tests and then check your comprehension and then try another practice test, and on and on and on. Alrighty, I've probably talked too much now, but anyway, again, thank you for letting me know how you did. And I feel your pain. I can really feel that. I know that you're frustrated. On the one hand, you did really well in certain sections of the test. On the other hand, you need to make some improvements. But you are a really, really hard worker, and I'm very confident that you can continue to make the improvements that you need. So whatever you do, don't give up, right? Keep up the fight. Keep it up.